episode, we're going to be doing a basic pound cake. And we'll be learning this recipe. It only has 6 ingredients in it, so it's very easy to learn. We'll show you what kind of beater that we need to use to aerate the pound cake. And until further ado, let's get baking. In the kitchen, and today with the pound cake, the first thing we're going to be doing is preheating our oven to 350 degrees. So I'm going to do that right now, and then we're going to get our loaf pan ready. Today, the first thing we're going to be doing is lining our loaf pan. Our basic loaf pan is 9 by 5, and we're going to be using parchment paper and lining that pan. Okay, there we have it. Now we're going to spray the pan with some non-stick spray so that it will be easy to take out and peel the parchment paper away from the pound cake. So now we're going to put that aside. Okay, we have our stand mixer. Today we're going to be using this paddle, and so we learned before how to use the stand mixer. We put that up and we turn it. Now the reason that pound cake can be dense is because of the beating process. Now this pound cake has no leavening agent, which means there's no baking soda or baking powder in it. So we will need to whip the sugar and the butter together for 5 minutes to get a lot of air in it, because that's the only way that the pound cake will be able to rise. Otherwise it will be very flat and dense. So the first ingredients we're going to be doing is the butter. So here we have our butter, and we're going to be using 1 cup. Okay, and here we have our sugar, white granulated sugar, and today we're going to be using 1.5 cups. So we have our dry measuring cup here. And then we'll level it off with the back of the knife. Okay, so that part's done. So now the creaming of the butter and the sugar. I'm going to start it on low to get it incorporated, and then for 5 minutes on high speed I am going to beat it. Let's put our bowl up. Sometimes this happens with butter. So let's take our spatula and just stick it down in there, break it up a little bit, turn it on again. So we'll see you back in 5 minutes. So here we are, it's been 5 minutes. Let's look into the bowl and we'll see how the batter has gone real white. And it's quite, I'll put the thing down here so you can see better. It's quite frothy, and the consistency is quite a light color. So there we have our aerated and our mixed butter. Okay, now the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding our 3 eggs, and we're going to add them one at a time, and that's going to be on medium speed. I'm going to stop and scrape down the sides to get all the butter incorporated into that egg, as you can see there. And then we'll add our 3rd one. It's It's looking good so far. Now our next two ingredients is going to be some 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and we're going to incorporate that into the batter. But the last two ingredients, which is flour and milk, we're going to alternate, starting with milk, then flour, starting with milk, then flour, to keep that aeration going so the pound cake is light and fluffy. So let's get our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We have that here. Remember, we use the capful. That's my tip and trick all along, and we're going to put 1 teaspoon into the batter. Let's add that in. Ooh, it looks so good. It's light and fluffy. It's a great color too. Okay, so for our milk, we're going to be using 1/3 cup. So we have our wet measuring cup here, and we're going to pour our milk in. Whoops. And we're going to get our last ingredient, which is 2 cups of flour. Remember to take a spoon and aerate your flour. We have our dry measuring cup, 1 cup. Let's add that. So we'll start with the 1 cup. And here we go. Alternating milk and then flour. Let's stop and scrape down the sides. How's it look, you guys? Does it look good? Look at the batter. The batter looks really nice. Looks like a good consistency. This batter will be very thick. Okay, a little bit of milk left. Okay, there's our batter. Let's take it down off the bowl, and we'll clean off our paddle. Move this to the side. There's the consistency. Okay, looks real good, doesn't it? Okay, now we're going to put it into our pan. Look how thick the batter is. That's totally right. We're going to make sure that that is covered up on the sides. Ooh, this is going to be so nice. Okay, let's smooth that down. And then we'll get all the rest of the goodness out. So here we have our pan, and it's all in there. Now we're going to smooth it to get it all on the edges. of that baking tin. Make it nice and smooth. And then we're going to tap it to get any air bubbles out. Shake and tap. And now we're going to put it in the oven. We're going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes. And then I'm going to check it. And if it's starting to get too brown, I'm going to use my tip, which is to take a piece of foil and cover it for the rest of the baking time so that the top does not get too brown. So we'll check it at 30 minutes and then we'll proceed to cook it for a full 60. So into the oven we goes. I'll see you in 30 minutes. So it's been 30 minutes, so we're going to open the oven and check to see if it needs to have the foil put on. Ooh, it looks pretty good. I'm going to pull it out for you and let's see what it looks like. Definitely not done in the middle. I don't think I need the foil on it, so let's going to go another 30 minutes. So it's been 60 minutes, so let's take it out and see if it's done with the toothpick test. Here we have our toothpick. We're going to put it in the side. Oh, not done. Let's put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. Okay, we've taken it out for the extra 10 minutes. Now let's do the toothpick test again and see if it's done. We'll take a couple toothpicks. We'll go on the side. Clean on that. And down the center. Clean as a whistle. Okay, so our pound cake is done. Now, after you take it out, immediately take a knife and go around the edges to loosen it. So I'm going to get a knife and we'll do that right now. It's good that we greased our parchment paper. Go all the way down to the bottom. It sure smells good. It's loosening up real nice. The parchment paper we will take off after cooling for 10 minutes. Sure and get in the corner. Okay, now we're going to let it rest here for 10 minutes and take the parchment paper off. We'll see you soon. So it's been 10 minutes and we're going to take it out of the pan right now and see what it looks like. Well, that worked out great. We'll put the pan aside. Now we're going to take down the sides. Ooh, it looks nice and buttery. And we're going to put it on to a wooden board here to continue to cool. If you cut the pound cake too early, the center will fall in, and so we don't want to have that done. So we're going to let it cool for another 30 minutes, and then I'll do my taste test. So here we have our pound cake. It's all done, and I've cut it up and served it on a plate. It looks really good. Let's take a look at the top. Not too brown. The inside here has a nice lift to it, so it did keep some air in it. And now let's take the taste test. So good. The top is a little crunchy. Now the bottom has gotten a little done, but that's the butter and also the pan spray that we used to coat the pan. You can see a closer look that it is nice and buttery and it's moist. So it turned out real good. Well, there you have it. Season 2, Episode 8, Butter Pound Cake. It turned out real good. I hope you make it at home and share it on my Facebook page, your pictures. Also, when you go look at my YouTube channel, please subscribe. We're going to try and put a little red subscribe button on there, and all you got to do is click on that. I'd appreciate everything. Also, too, next week we're going to be doing cinnamon rolls with the homemade dough that I used in an earlier season. So I look forward to that. And so thank you so much again. And from my kitchen to yours, I make it, you bake it.